Hello everybody, good evening. Welcome to this week's Technical FX Outlook with Great White FX for the 21st to 25th of November 2022. So, as always, we're going to start off with the economic calendar. So, looking at the economic calendar, we can basically see that the major high impact news we have will be on the New Zealand currency pair. So it's going to be official cash rates at high significant news event, and it's going to come out at 2 a.m. West African time on Wednesday. So that will be a major mover during the Australian session. So that's one of the major high impact news we have this week. So Monday seems to have no major news impact. So without taking so much of your time, let's get down to our pair. So we're going to start off with the NASDAQ. So looking at the NASDAQ, we can basically see that price rejected off this high. So this would look like a liquidity sweep above this high and a pullback. If we go back to the daily, if we go into the daily time frame, we have significant close above this equal height here, and we can see wicks to the downside. So looking at this from the 4-hour time frame, I'm of the opinion that we might see a little bit of a retracement. We might see a little bit of a retracement before a continuation back to the upside. So if you put in your annotations, and this doesn't have so much annotation. So because already we have a break below this level and this level. So price may rally and move back down, maybe come down to feel this imbalance and probably touch up this structure point. So for NASDAQ, we might see a little bit of a range to a downside move as long as price stays below 120.82. As long as price stays below this high, we might see either a range or a little bit of a retracement to fill this imbalance. So the next one we're going to be looking at is the dollar index. So looking at the dollar index is, let's start off first with the weekly. So we look at the dollar index from the weekly. We can see that there's this bullish order block, and there's you can see that price has dipped into it and there's a rejection. If you move into the daily time frame, there's a fair value gap before this order block. You can see that there's a very fast move away from that structure point. So now with this going into the 4-hour time frame, what do we expect to see into the new week? The possibility exists that price may retrace a bit before moving to the upside. Price may retrace a bit before moving to the upside. Not a reversal, but a move to fill this imbalance before continuing back to the downside. Or it might just range. Those are two scenarios we have on the dollar index. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is EURUSD. Same as the dollar index. I'm going to look at this from the weekly point of view. We could see there's this up candle for this move. This bearish order block. And see that price ran into it and rejected. This is a bearish setup on the weekly time frame. If we go to the daily time frame, you can see there's a close above this high, but you can see there's a rejection from this bearish order block here on the daily. So if we go to the 4-hour time frame, what are we expecting on this pair? This may retrace a bit before moving back to the downside. That's where I see this. It might either range, but until I have a feeling that it might try to fill an imbalance before continuing back to the upside. So we are kind of almost like neutral on the dollar index and the euro USD, but gone to my head, I would say this pair might still correct a bit to the downside. Why? Given the this pattern on the weekly. So the next one we're going to look at is the GBPUSD. So looking at GBPUSD on the weekly time frame, price rallied into this fair value gap. There's a fair value gap here that's between this point to this point. Price ran very deeply into it and pulled back. This is a massive rejection. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, we can see that this is where price is. And if we go down to this, sorry, that was the daily time frame. This is a 4-hour time frame now. This pair my range. We already have a break in market structure here. There exists a possibility this may retrace to continue higher. So if we put in our annotations, well, we can see that daily fair value gap. You can see that price is rejecting from there. So if price comes in here and gets rejected, then we might see a move back down. Maybe sweep this liquidity and come into this bullish order blockade. But there's something you need to take cognizance on this pair. We have a balanced price range here between this point to this point. If you extend it out, you have here to here. That's a fair value gap. So as long as price stays above 1.1717 to 1.1648, it may still move to the upside. But should price close below 1648 with a daily buy on a daily close, then we might see continuation back to the downside. That's the scenario for GBPUSD. So the next we are going to be looking at is gold. So looking at gold from the weekly time frame, I see that price rejected from this bearish order blockade, ran deep into it and rejected. If we go to the daily time frame, see that this is where price ran into here, the fair value gap on the daily between this point and this point, and the fair value gap is also with a bearish order block on the daily time frame. So price pulled back from it. So looking at this pair on the 4-hour time frame, the possibility exists that this pair may retrace a bit before continuing back to the upside. You can already see there's a break of structure here, this swing blue. So if price rallies back up and stays below 1786.54, we might see it try to fill this imbalance and may probably come down to this structure point before seeing if it will continue back to the upside. So that's what we have on gold. But gold, with the break of this market structure, there's a possibility we might see a retracement and then a continuation back to the upside. That's what we have on gold. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is EURGBP. This pair, I would say, it's almost like neutral. You can't see where this pair is going to go to. On the weekly, if we look at the weekly, there is a significant, it's not going to be very clear on the daily time frame, except I go to the 4-hour. 86.90, there's been a close below it. So there exists a possibility on this pair that we might see a retracement and then a move down towards this structure point. That's what we may see on this pair going into the new week. Because if price spiked this 86.90 and moved back up, then it will be a liquidity hump. But closing back below it, we might see a retracement and then a move back down. So the next one we're going to be looking at is GBPCHF. So looking at the GBPCHF, not much. There's a bullish engulfing, almost bullish engulfing on the weekly time frame. Let's go to the daily. If we go to the daily, price is retracing. Price still has a bullish run. Let's look at the 4-hour time frame, see what we have there. So This is what we have on the 4-hour time frame. This is the daily range. It's pretty a big daily range. So first case scenario, the week starts off. If you look at price already, we can see that we have price within this bearish order block on the 4-hour time. That's where price is at the moment. So if price gets rejected from here, there is a possibility that we might see price retrace a bit, probably into this 4-hour bullish order block. But should this rally, maybe rallies into this structure point here and doesn't take out 1.1432, maybe sweeps liquidity slightly above this high and continues back down, then we might see a continuation back to the downside. Because if you look at this pair, price is making new lows. That's within this range to this range. Price is making new lows. This looks like a retracement on the 4-hour as long as it stays below 1432. If price stays below here, then we might see kind of a bearish setup, and then probably price may continue back to the downside on the pound CHF. So last but not the least, the next one we're going to be looking at is the pound yen. So looking at the pound yen, close up on the weekly as a bullish candle off on the weekly. If we go down to the daily time frame, well, on the daily time frame we have a break below this swing low here. So this looks like a retracement. This looks like a retracement to me. There's a possibility price may still go down. If price does not go above 169.09, if price does not go above 169.09, it's going to be clearer on the 4-hour time. If price does not go above here, then there's possibility it may retrace and then continue back down. But if price goes above this high, then we might be looking at something like this. Price does this, then we might be looking at something like this, then we move higher. So that settles it for the GBPJPY. So I thank everybody for taking your time to attend. Please do subscribe and like to the videos if you find it helpful. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section and I will be glad to attend to it. So I wish everybody a blessed Sunday and a wonderful trading week ahead. Good night and good day, everybody.